The first time I realized my own family saw me as furniture was the night I came home to an empty living room. No couch, no big screen TV, no rug, no coffee table. Just pale rectangles on the hardwood where my stuff used to be, like ghosts of a life I'd paid for. My mother stood in the doorway with her arms crossed, acting like she'd caught me stealing. My stepdad hovered behind her, jaw tight, trying to look tough. And my little sister, Kayla, sat on the stairs, filming on her phone like it was content. Mom's voice didn't shake. That's what chilled me. "You're not taking another thing, Marissa," she said. "We're done with your little stunt." I stared at her, then at the bare floor, then back at her face. My mouth moved before my brain caught up. "My stunt?" I said. "You mean my property?" She scoffed, loud and theatrical, like we were on a daytime talk show. "Don't play lawyer. You lived here. You contributed. That doesn't mean you get to strip the house. Strip the house. Like I'd ripped out copper wiring. Like I'd done something dirty. But the truth was simpler. And colder. I'd spent 6 years paying for the stuff that made this place feel like a home. Because every month there was an excuse. Hours got cut. Insurance went up. The car needed brakes. Kayla needed a little help again. And I always helped. Because I was the reliable one. Because I was 41 years old and still trying to earn a kind of love Kayla got for free. I stepped past them, walked into the kitchen, and looked around like I'd never seen it before. The stainless steel air fryer I bought at Costco. The Keurig machine I got on Black Friday. The set of nonstick pans from Target because Mom's were ruined and she didn't want to cook on scratched up junk. My stuff. Everywhere. Quietly holding them up. My stepdad finally spoke. "This is about that trip, isn't it? You got jealous." I laughed once, sharp. Not funny, not cute. "You really believe that?" I asked. "You think this started with the trip?" Mom's eyes narrowed. "It started when you decided to act like you're better than us." That one hit a nerve because it was so backwards I almost couldn't process it. Better than them? I'd been their backup plan for years. I reached into my tote bag and pulled out a thick manila folder. Receipts, bank statements, email confirmations, even delivery photos from Best Buy. I set it on the counter like a judge dropping a gavel. "This," I said, tapping the folder, "is why I'm not scared of your accusations." Kayla's phone lowered a little. Just a little. Mom didn't touch the folder. She didn't have to. She knew what it was. She just whispered, like she was warning me, "If you do this, you're going to regret it." And that was the moment I realized the story they were telling themselves, the story where I was selfish and dramatic, was the only story that let them sleep at night. So I decided I was done being the one who made it easy. Because here's the part I haven't told you yet. They didn't come home to an empty living room by accident. They left for a beach vacation that morning, without me. And they did it with the same calm, casual tone you use when you tell someone to take the trash out. Like I'd understand. Like I always do. Have you ever been treated like the extra in your own family? Like the one who pays, fixes, and stays quiet? Tell me in the comments what you would have done next. They didn't tell me I wasn't going on the trip all at once. That would have required honesty. Instead, it came in pieces. Side comments. Soft excuses. The kind people use when they've already decided and just need you to cooperate. We were sitting at the kitchen island, the one I'd paid to have refinished, when my mom casually said, "Flights are so expensive right now. Crazy, right?" I nodded, scrolling through emails from work. Another late shift approved. Another thank you message that meant more responsibility and no real rest. Then my stepdad added, "And hotels? Don't even get me started. Oceanfront is highway robbery. Still nothing direct." Kayla was across from me, barefoot, legs tucked under her, laughing at something on her phone. She'd just gotten her hair done at a salon in downtown Charleston. $200. I knew because Mom asked me to Venmo her temporarily. The words finally landed like an afterthought. "Well," Mom said, not looking at me, "we figured it makes more sense if Kayla goes this time. You're so busy anyway. You hate crowds." I looked up slowly. "This time?" Mom sighed like I'd missed the point on purpose. "Marissa, don't do this. You always understand." There it was. The sentence they used every time they needed me to shrink. I waited for someone, anyone, to say it wasn't fair. To say we'd figure it out. To say they'd cut something else instead. No one did. That night, I lay in my old twin bed, staring at the ceiling fan wobbling slightly, because we never fixed it, even though I'd offered to pay. And that's when something shifted. I didn't feel sad. I felt clear. Clear enough to realize this wasn't about a vacation to Myrtle Beach. It was about years of being the safety net they stood on while looking right past me. And here's the quiet twist I didn't admit to myself yet. While they were packing sunscreen and flip-flops, I was already counting receipts in my head, not to punish them, but to finally prove to myself that I wasn't crazy for feeling used. If your family expected you to understand while benefiting from your silence, would you keep the peace or start keeping score? The morning they left for the airport felt like a rerun I'd seen too many times. Suitcases lined up by the front door. Kayla pacing back and forth in brand new sneakers, complaining about whether TSA would make her take them off. My mom reminding her, again, to pack the charger and tag the hotel on Instagram. My stepdad checking the weather on his phone like he was the one paying for the trip. I stood by the sink holding a coffee mug I didn't even want, watching the scene like an outsider in my own house. Mom hugged me quickly, a one-arm squeeze. Don't forget to water the plants. And if any packages come, just leave them inside. Like I was the house sitter, not the daughter. Kayla waved. Bring me back something cute, she said, already halfway out the door. The car pulled away. Gravel crunched, the sound faded. And then, silence. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't even sit down. I walked through the house slowly, barefoot on the hardwood, noticing things I'd stopped seeing because they were just expected. The sectional couch I bought after a 60-hour work week. The 65-inch Samsung TV mounted above the fireplace. The coffee table with the dent in the corner from when my stepdad dropped a toolbox on it and never apologized. The rug I ordered online after Mom complained the floors felt cold. In the kitchen, I opened cabinets. Plates, bowls, glassware. All mine. The Ninja blender I used every morning before work. The microwave I replaced when theirs suddenly stopped working. The trash can with the foot pedal because Mom hated touching lids. I went into my bedroom and pulled open the bottom drawer of my desk. The folder was right where I'd always kept it. I hadn't saved receipts on purpose at first. It started small. A delivery email here, a bank statement there, just in case. Because I'd learned early that memory gets fuzzy when money's involved, especially when you're the one giving it. Over time, the folder got thicker. I spread everything out on the bed. Dates, amounts, stores, my name on every line. This wasn't revenge, not yet. This was inventory. 2 hours later, I was on the phone with a moving company. How big is the job? The guy asked. Mostly furniture and appliances, I said. Living room, kitchen, some storage. Anyone else gonna be home? I looked around the quiet house and felt something dark and steady settle in my chest. No, I said. They're out of town. He gave me a quote. It was fair. I booked it for 2 days later. That night, I slept better than I had in years. The next morning, I toured apartments on my lunch break. I wasn't looking for luxury. I was looking for mine. I found it 4 blocks from the water. A 1-bedroom with creaky floors, a small balcony, and windows that let in a lot of light. You could smell the ocean if the wind was right. Rent was high, but my credit score was solid. Turns out being responsible pays off, just not in the way my family expected. The landlord looked over my pay stubs and nodded. You're good. I signed the lease without hesitation. Moving day came fast. The truck pulled up just after 9. I half expected a neighbor to text my mom, but then I remembered. She'd posted a sunrise photo from the beach with the caption, "Much needed family time." I let the movers in. The couch, the TV, that bookshelf, bar stools, microwave, coffee maker, dishes in those cabinets, silverware drawer, rug. One of the guys paused. You sure about all this? I held up the folder. Very. Room by room, the house emptied. The living room went first. Then the kitchen. The echo grew louder with every item that left. I left some things behind on purpose. The ancient recliner my stepdad refused to replace. The chipped side table Kayla loved. The cheap mirror Mom bought when I first moved back home. I wanted contrast. I wanted truth. By the time the truck doors closed, the house looked exactly how I'd always felt in it. Bare, quiet, unfinished. I didn't leave a note. I didn't owe them an explanation they'd already ignored for years. At my new place, the movers unloaded everything. My couch, my dishes, my life. I locked the door behind them and leaned against it, heart racing. Not from fear, but from relief. That night, I cooked dinner in my own kitchen and ate on my couch, watching a show at whatever volume I wanted. My phone buzzed around 7:30 p.m. Rachel, my friend from down the street, she sent a photo. My mom on the porch, keys in hand, mouth open. My stepdad behind her, fists clenched. Kayla frozen mid-step. Inside the house, nothing. Holy hell, Rachel texted. They're losing it. The call started minutes later. Mom, stepdad, Kayla over and over. I didn't answer. I listened to the voicemails pile up. Crying, yelling, accusations. I went to bed smiling. The next afternoon, there was a knock on my door. Hard, angry. I opened it. They walked in like they owned the place. Mom spotted the TV immediately. There it is, she shouted. You stole from us. I stayed calm. No, I took my things. Stepdad yelled. This is insane. You embarrassed us. I placed the folder on the table. Sit, I said. They didn't. But they listened. Receipt by receipt, I laid it out. Couch, TV, appliances, dishes. Mom whispered, we were going to pay you back. You've been saying that for 6 years, I replied. Kayla spoke up. People are talking. You made us look bad. That's when it clicked. Not guilt, not regret. Image. I met her eyes. You didn't care how it looked when I stayed behind. Silence. Stepdad muttered, this is theft. I shrugged. Call the cops. He didn't. Because here was the small twist they didn't expect. I wasn't emotional. I wasn't begging. I wasn't backing down. I was done. I'm not coming back, I said. And I'm not your backup anymore. They left quieter than they arrived. The fallout came fast. Neighbors whispered. Family asked questions. Kayla tried to spin it online, but people remembered who paid for what. And here's the major shift that changed everything. For the first time, they had to live without me fixing things. Bills, groceries, repairs. They argued, a lot. Meanwhile, I got promoted at work. My apartment filled with light, with peace. And slowly, painfully, my sister started to see it. One afternoon, she called. Not angry, not defensive. Just tired. I didn't know, she said. And for the first time, I believed her. If your family accused you of stealing when you finally took back what was yours, would you stand your ground? Or give it back to keep the peace? A month later, I met my parents at a quiet cafe near the marina. Neutral ground. Public. Safe. They looked smaller somehow. Not weaker. Just stripped of the certainty that I'd always be there to absorb the impact of their choices. My mom spoke first. We didn't realize how much we depended on you. I stirred my coffee slowly. You realized. You just called it family, so you wouldn't have to feel bad. That landed. My stepdad nodded, eyes down. We made it easy on ourselves by leaning on you. Here was the final twist, the one they didn't expect. I'm not cutting you off, I said, but I'm not cushioning your lives anymore. No money, no fixing, no silence. They agreed too quickly, I noticed. So I added the line that mattered. If you want a relationship with me, it happens on equal footing. Respect or nothing. We stood to leave. My mom reached for a hug. I stepped back. Not yet, I said. Walking home, I realized the revenge wasn't the empty house or the gossip or the struggle they now faced. The real ending was quieter. I stopped negotiating my worth. I built a life where I wasn't the extra. And if you were in my place, would you walk away and build peace or stay and keep paying for love that never showed up? Tell me what you'd choose.